Hi, I will today try to explain to you tariffs because it's kind of a hot topic at the moment in Minecraft terms. So bear with me, might be a little bit complicated because there's a lot more to see than what we think at first. Like real countries, I've simply decided that here is where both countries are decided that the border is. So let's take a look at our country. We only have 2 villagers at the moment, and let's just say we have 1 farmer. He's selling us 1 wheat for 1 emerald and 1 iron. So if you are like this second villager and you want to make bread, well, you need to buy wheat from him and coal from your little neighbor. Let's just say your neighbor is just here and he's selling you 1 coal for 1 emerald. At this moment, you have your little economies. You are buying some wheat from your farmer, you're buying some coal from your neighbor, and you're producing some bread. Then you're selling some bread to your neighbor so he can produce more coal so he can sell more, and you're having your little economy. But one day your neighbor has a lot of farms, so he decides to start importing you some wheat, but he only sells you at the cost of importation because he has a lot of them. So at the moment you can either buy some wheat for extra iron or buy from him straight only with some emerald. At this moment you start buying more from your neighbor and you sell more to your neighbor, and you can sell them cheaper because you buy it cheaper. But this thing kind of makes you unhappy because your farmer, well, he's not selling any wheat anymore just because he cannot compete with how good of a price your neighbor is doing to you. And your country is mad because why would you give up on your farmer? He's selling you good wheat, way better wheat than your neighbor, and so why not buy it? Well, because it's more expensive. So they will implement a tariff. A tariff, what it is? Well, when you import something in your country, well, you have a tax, something to pay more. Then in your little pocket, you're coming to buy some wheat from your neighbor, and you see that now it costs an extra gold. So now you have to think about it. If I'm buying an extra from my local, I'll only pay an extra iron, which is cheaper. So why buy from my neighbor? So you know what? Well, I will stop buying from my neighbor and I will start buying from my local again. But this will increase the price that I'm selling it to him. Then he will be mad at me because, well, his farmer doesn't sell more wheat to me. Then he will sell his coal more expensive to me. So for me here, I'm paying more on my wheat and more on my coal just simply because of those tariffs. And history has proven one thing is, if the local sees they can sell it for more expensive, well, soon enough you'll see the price change. And you, my friend, you'll be stuck in the middle of buying your coal, your wheat at a much more expensive rate. The reality is, pretty much everyone is gonna be, well, unhappy with this. Why? Because he's gonna buy his wheat more expensive, he's gonna buy his coal more expensive, and he's gonna sell his bread a little more expensive. He cannot sell it way more expensive because people will simply not buy it. He won't be able to sell as much as his neighbor because it's gonna be more expensive than their local, and the neighbor won't import more wheat because it made it at the same price or higher from the local. At this moment, everyone is kind of stuck in a I don't want to buy from my neighbor, but I don't want to buy it from my local too, and it's gonna create some anxious and kind of unhappy relation between everyone just because those tariffs are at the end of the day paid by the down customer who's buying the bread. If it doesn't affect who's buying the bread, it doesn't affect the guy who cannot afford to make bread anymore. And this is even worse if you're in a chain and people don't produce any wheat anymore just because, you know, they're relying on selling bread, so they don't sell any bread anymore. But they won't buy any because, you know, they're way too expensive. And this will make him being able to produce for much higher prices with lower demand. And if world has proven something, high prices and low demand, it's not something you want in life. So at the end of the day, those tariffs will only make prices go up for everyone. The only real, you know, winner in this situation might be the producer for a short term, because in reality for them what it's gonna make is all of their costs will go up because people will see them as, you know, better potential of profit, and they will put the high prices on for them. But in the longer run, every single one of them is gonna pay more, and you, my friend, you're gonna paying your bread way more than before, and you're gonna be wondering why at the end of the month your paycheck looks smaller. I hope that little explanation kind of helped. If you have any question or if I made any mistake, let me know in the comments, and we'll see each other pretty soon.